Hi, I'm Jinhui, Head of Cybersecurity Consulting Services, Singapore.
Hi, I'm Nitish Kurup, Cybersecurity Pre-Sales Architect, Singapore.
We're going to talk about data loss prevention and what else apart from technology is required to implement your data protection strategy.
So, what is DLP or data loss prevention? It is a strategy used to ensure that sensitive data is not lost, misused, or accessed by unauthorized users. We see data breaches happening even with all the security solutions that are implemented. Firewalls, antivirus, network monitoring, but still, we have data breaches. It does not matter whether you are a small medium enterprise or a multi-million dollar organization. DLP looks at security solutions centered around your information to secure data that is in use, in motion, and at rest.
Now, statistics don't lie. Data breaches have devastating consequences for individuals and businesses. The average total cost of a data breach is measured in millions. The top 3 industries impacted in the last 2 years includes healthcare, FSI, and pharmaceuticals. In fact, the data breach cost from these 3 industries alone is 20 million in 2021.
The type of records that are most breached are customer records about where they live, their email addresses, home addresses, telephone numbers, and even financial information. This can happen by either threat actors posting onto the internet or leaked by an insider knowingly or unknowingly, amongst other reasons. Almost 50% of the data breaches recorded last year comprised of customer personally identifiable information. And so, on an average, one record of customer PII costs $180 to the company. And in most of these breaches, such records lost run into tens of thousands.
And these are due to changing landscape that is constantly evolving. For example, the COVID-19 drive the adoption of working from home and remote collaboration. And emergence of new digital realms such as cloud, OT, IoT, 5G changes how digital services are being delivered and consumed. Regulatory requirements such as the MASTRM, PDPA, GDPR have made data protection a top priority. Under the GDPR, for example, the EU's Data Protection Authority can impose fines up to Euro 20 million or about 4% of the worldwide turnover for the preceding financial year, whichever is higher.
Traditionally, data loss prevention solutions have been more focused on data that is kept within servers and laptops belonging to the organization. But the changing landscape today means data is everywhere. You'll find your data in Google Drive, OneDrive, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, Telegram, and the plethora of social media platforms, amongst others.
Even with the most sophisticated technology, there are some of the data protection challenges that we face. For example, without proper consulting, it takes a long time to create effective DLP policies. Inability to form a DLP monitoring team complicates the adoption of DLP into the organization, which in turn can end up adding a lot more administrative overheads. A typical DLP implementation has thousands of false positives at the onset of monitoring. So without proper review, this can add tremendous pressure to your analyst team and create what we call an alert fatigue. So these are just a few challenges that can render your DLP inoperable or not meeting your data protection requirements. Now, to address them, organizations must realize that data protection is not just a matter of deploying technology, but also about identifying, aligning, and keeping up to date with business needs.
So as we see, it is not just about technology, but also about other aspects. The first aspect is people. You need to have a proper data protection team in place. You need to have data owners identified and a governance team that comes into picture on how to handle critical violations as also non-compliance from different business units. Second, you need to create a lot of different processes and capture them into your standard operating procedures. These include, but are not limited to, processes covering policy management, exception handling, levers monitoring, incident management, business unit onboarding, and data handling, to name a few. Once you have the people and the required processes in place, that's where you stitch them together with the technology.
That is why in Ingram Micro, we adopt a business-driven approach towards data protection And even before we talk about technology, we look at understanding your business requirements. We follow through the entire data lifecycle management to help clients define, identify your data, and establish the corresponding classification and handling processes.
In order to protect data, we need to understand your business and how it uses the data. Where is the data created in your organization? How is that data stored by the business units handling it? How do they use it in a day-to-day scenario? How do they store this for long-term retention? And how do they destroy this data once it is no longer required?
So in DLP Business Workshop, we identify and engage the correct business stakeholders in the DLP projects. We understand existing business requirements, your processes, and handling of information asset. And last but not least, we define the design of DLP solution encompassing your policies and processes.
So why Ingram Micro Consulting Services for your DLP journey? We provide end-to-end solution, starting with the pre-sales for services to consultation and implementation of the DLP solutions. We build the different processes that are required for you to run the DLP solution and work with the stakeholders in your organization to help you create a DLP team. We even provide JDs so that you can hire the required DLP analysts. Our consultants have vast experience of deploying data loss prevention solutions for customers spanning multiple industry verticals. Since the focus is a lot on consulting and advisory required to run DLP successfully and not just the technology, we are able to provide you these services irrespective of the DLP solution that you will be implementing.
So in addition, Ingram Micro has recently launched the Technology Experience Center for APAC, which can help with your DLP journey. Located in Singapore, the Technology Experience Center showcases integrated end-to-end multi-vendor solutions from cybersecurity, cloud, automation, open source, RPA, IoT, amongst other things, and can be accessed in person and remotely. And at Ingram Micro, we make it easier for our partners to realize endless possibilities and win deals. Through our Technology Experience Center and incubation services, we have the ability to develop and integrate different solutions, including DLP. But more importantly, we do not directly work with our end customers. We always work within our partner ecosystem, right? So in the event you are a partner implementing a solution, we can complement it with our cybersecurity consulting and advisory services.
We hope this session is useful for you, and we look forward to helping you in your data protection journey. Thank you.